Hello, everybody. My name is Hastur, and earlier today, when I was at work, I happened across a video that Leaflet did, and it is this video. I'm not watching Leaflet's reaction, but instead, I'm watching Zach's reaction. Asmon. For those who don't know, Asmongold is like the #1 uh, Twitch. I think he's only on Twitch. He might be on some other things. I don't know for sure, but the #1 streamer when it comes to politics. And recently there was a kind of a shit piece that was put out, and I thought, hey, this is something worth talking about because I listened to it at work, and dear God, I was only listening really in passing, so I don't remember everything. But without further ado, I'm gonna let the Roach Man speak. So play that funny music.
America's biggest streamer was anti-war until Trump bombed Iran.
Oh boy.
Okay, we're gonna watch this. I don't know why you AI generated, just to give me more teeth. Well, thank you. We play
nice of
too
him.
big of a role in other countries' military shit. Yeah. Like, we're too interventionary. We get too involved into other people's business. Yes. It's a waste of our money. The people there probably fucking hate us. Like, where's really the upside here, right? Is stay out of it. Yeah, exactly. Now, I'm not saying like we should be totally isolationist, but I think that the level that we try to play nation building, especially in places like this, like, you know, like Libya, for example, back in the day, what the fuck? Or Iraq? No, absolutely not. Yeah, it's too much, man. Way too much.
That's Zach Hoyt.
Okay, that's a fair enough position to take. I mean, kind of out of context, but yeah, you don't have to be completely isolationist, but you should probably, you know, not dick around real heavily. Rock.
Better known as Asmongold.
So this is another example of something being taken out of context. Inside of that clip, I was talking about the reason why Trump voters don't feel satisfied with Donald Trump, and it's because from a average voter's perspective, focusing on international conflicts over local ones is a bad idea.
Okay, yeah, well, there's your context. And what exactly does that have to do with Iran? Newsflash, nothing.
And so that's the main reason too. So we've got, obviously, that's the reason why I was talking about it, #1. And #2, Libya wasn't funding terrorism at the same level that Iran was. Libya wasn't trying to build a nuclear bomb and blow up the United States. So, I mean, this is, again, two completely different things. It's not like Libya and Iran are the same country.
Because they're not. And I'm pretty sure with Libya, Libya's government wasn't funding terrorism like Iran was. They allowed it kind of, not to the extent of Mexico, but hey, please don't blow everything up over here. Like, don't make it my problem. From the perspective of Libya. Now, granted, I'm not the most knowledgeable on Libya, so take what I say with a grain of salt, but I'm pretty sure they weren't nearly as pro-terrorism as Iran, especially considering, like, Lebanese-based terrorists. Hang on, Liberia or Lebanon? Christ.
Two completely different. Nuclear bomb wasn't funding terrorism at the same level that Iran was. So we've got, obviously, that's the reason why I was talking about it,
not
#1.
Liberia.
And #2, Libya wasn't funding.
Yeah, Libya, not Lebanon. Christ on a bike. Names are hard. Why do I always fuck up names? Effectively, Libya, there we go. They all start with L's. I get confused. At least I didn't say Latvia. But Libya, I'm fairly sure, wasn't funding terrorism. Like, as he said, it wasn't funding terrorism like Iran was, mostly because Iran was funding terrorism everywhere. From the Houthis to Hamas to hell, that's why I was thinking Lebanon for some reason for a name. The Lebanese terrorists. I'm pretty sure some Iran money also was traced to them. Like, two two completely different things.
Funding terrorism at the same level that Iran was. Libya wasn't trying to build a nuclear bomb and blow up the United States. So, I mean, this is, again, two completely different things. It's not like Libya and Iran are the same country.
That too.
The most watched streamer in North America talking about American military intervention abroad.
Zach, that is not a good clip.
That's me.
Look at them. I think they're little small ones.
Yep.
See?
Oh, goodness. That's an old clip. You really had to dig to the bottom of the barrel for that one, huh?
Waste of money. Stay out.
Trying to make me look bad. Trying to make me look bad already.
And
before we before this gets too further in, how he is dressed, how his set piece is that a Dark Souls? No, that's not a Dark Souls. What is that? Oh, is that supposed to be like Odin or something? Are those crows? Hunan and Munin? And I can't remember the name of his spear. Was it Gable? I don't remember. Darn. But anyway, besides the point. He is utilizing nice clothes. He does look good. He's fairly well kept. And a nice set in order to provide or to put out the image of, not the image of, that's not a good way to put it, to put on the appearance of being knowledgeable, being authoritative by just his appearance. And as much as people will say that, looks don't matter, looks do matter. Unfortunately, nobody cared until I put on the mask, because the mask is an appearance. But I'm getting off topic and rambly.
Now here he is.
Anyway, he's using that appearance in contrast to an old Asmon clip where he points maggots, which I do believe that there were maggots, but, pointing out that there are maggots with a kind of scruffy guy versus nice, well put together, suave Englishman appearance, mannerisms too, actually. He's trying to make himself look good in comparison to make his statement seem better.
Same man, same streamer, on the subject of the United States bombing of Iran.
So he's trying to create, you can see very clearly, right? He's trying to delegitimize me by showing a clip of me eating maggots. Can you believe that?
Well, he's also trying to delegitimize you by saying, hey, this is what he said previously on this war that is completely unrelated to Iran. And this is what he's saying now. Can't you see that he's a hypocrite? It's a faulty analogy.
Actually, I know this might sound surprising for him, but how many subscribers does this guy have? He's got 88,000 subscribers. I'll give him a bit of advice, okay? The reason why I do things like that on my stream is I find that they're entertaining. I found that entertaining an audience has helped me build an audience. Maybe you could try it.
Oh. I'm not going to diss the guy for only having 88,000. I mean, I only have like 12. Actually, as of recording this, how many do I have? Good question. Next question. How many do I have 11. 11 whole subscribers. So, I'm not one to throw shade on, oh, you only have 88,000. But considering, I don't want to say Asmon has the authority here because he has more views, because that's a stupid argument. But he does have a point with the criticism added on. He does have a point. You got to be entertaining. Sure. I get what he's trying to say.
I am so happy this has happened. I am just dramatically, tremendously happy this has happened. I know that, obviously I've talked about it for a long time, about how big of a problem Iran is and everything. Yes. I was a big supporter of us bombing them before, and now we're bombing them again. And
so bombing them before. So for a long time you've held this, maybe even since the clips that were taken and used earlier. Who knows? If only we had context. You haven't noticed this is quotation out of context again.
This is
You'll see this again.
just amazing.
And again.
Amazing.
And again. Repetition.
Amazing.
Yeah,
He's
it's amazing.
just so happy.
I'm so
Dramatically, tremendously
Yes.
happy. The United States has
That was repetition too.
launched a war that has killed over 1,000 people as of this recording in 5 days, including 165 schoolgirls in an elementary school in Minab, and
So I wonder, did he do a video about when the IRGC said that if your kids are saying things that are anti-regime, we're going to kill your kids?
No, he didn't. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Sorry to spoil that. But it's also worth noting that, and Asmon brings it up in a moment, that this number is on both sides. Funnily enough, if you really want to be picky, over the course of like a few weeks, Iran managed to overshadow that number a lot, like by a huge margin, by even some of the lower estimates. Like I brought it up in a previous video, but one of the previous numbers that I found was about 30,000 of the protesters were killed by the Iranian regime for protesting against the Iranian regime. And it's kind of funny how he says only this war has taken 1,000 lives, which, don't get me wrong, those are 1,000 lives lost. About 50 of those being people that, you know, I can definitely see deserving it, specifically the people in charge of Iran. But the remainder, probably, I don't want to say definitely deserved it, because not everyone necessarily did. But he's not even acknowledging the fact that, oh yeah, there were a bunch of people killed by the Iranis before the war, technically. Well, not even a real war, but before the war started. It's not a quotation out of context, but this is an omission of greater information. It's effectively just a small snapshot. There's not like an exact definition to it, but it's kind of like a pinhole. Like, you're not going to be able to see the whole room from the pinhole. You'll have to go through the door. I get keyhole perspective. Like, he's just limiting what you can see, but I'm rambling.
I wonder if he said that.
He didn't.
Let's take a look. How about that? Let's take a look. So where are the videos that are critical of the Iranian regime? Here we go. Let's see. Trump's Iran war will fail. This seems like a Trump derangement syndrome channel. And it looks like not a single instance of him criticizing or talking about the Iranian regime killing people. Wow. How about that? Just Republican hate? Yep, there it is. There's more and more and more of it. That's not whataboutism comparing the U.S. and Iran. It's completely different. No, it's not. I mean, if you're going to criticize and talk about that, I mean, you're not going to talk about the other people that were killed by Iran's proxies.
I think right here, he kind of misunderstands what the chatter was trying to say. Like, I think the chatter was agreeing, like, oh yeah, he's trying to compare America to Iran when Iran is worse. But I'm not the chatter. So, grain of salt. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's like how I interpret that.
This whole idea that it killed 1,000 people and somehow that means the war is bad, that completely decontextualizes any of the actions that Iran has taken that have killed people as well.
Oh yeah, that's what I said earlier. Like, oh yeah, he's not going to talk about the 30,000, the number that would technically dwarf, and that's 30,000 on the small end. The high end says 100,000, and this was over the course of 2 weeks of 14 days. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people a day. That is well over 1,000 people a day. So, just saying.
He's not comparing, American deaths. He's looking at deaths in total.
6 American soldiers are dead. One of them, a 39-year-old mother of 2, who is days away from coming home.
Right.
And the most watched streamer in America is sitting in his chair going, "This is just amazing."
This is, I'm sure that what
Quotation out of context.
you think that I'm saying is that it's amazing that a soldier is dead. This is the same type of performative morality that I think ends up getting way more people killed.
I have to disagree with Asmongold on this. I don't think it's performative morality. I think it is genuine contempt. I don't want to say they. They's a hasty generalization. People who often formulate their arguments like this guy, who make content like this guy, will use stuff like quotation out of context. He will use stuff maliciously in order to make you look bad. And as some people describe it, he is spellcasting. Some would describe him as a necromancer because he's going to use dead people against you. Or he's bringing up the long since dead past in order to make you look bad. But I'm not going to call him a necromancer. I'm not going to do that. Spellcaster, sure. Not a necromancer.
Because what he's doing is he's trying to imply that I am actually happy or I want soldiers to die. Well, obviously that's not the case. Nobody wants soldiers to die. But the reality is that when you have a country like Iran that is funding terrorism, that they're killing people, they're making bombs, they're killing their own people. Do you guys want to check and see if he made a video about all the Iran protests and Iran massacring their people? Do you guys want to see if he talked about that?
He didn't.
I wonder. Oh, I wonder. Intentionally misunderstanding. Yep, there it is. And let's.
And I guess I didn't necessarily say it in the end there, but yeah, it's intentionally misunderstanding. He intentionally obfuscates. He's disingenuous in how he presents stuff. And by presenting it like quotations out of context, by spellcasting and bullshitting, he is not going to engage in a genuine argument. And fun fact, you'll find out by watching this that he doesn't actually, combat anything that Asmon says. He just ad hominems and quotations out of context, and he will use fallacy after fallacy and propaganda technique after propaganda technique while just oozing his bias. And I don't want to give you an anchoring bias. I highly recommend that you watch his video in absence of me, in absence of Asmongold. But if you sit down and watch it and actually give it, somewhat of a critical thought, it's just sloppa.
Check. All right, let's find out.
Yeah, he doesn't.
And let's see here. Iran. Incinerators.
I'm just gonna.
Okay. And war seems like on market the highest that it's ever been. Like, so let's go back. We're gonna pull this up. We'll see how well this video is.
Trying to get back to the actual video itself. Here we are.
They're cooking. Yeah, they also release political prisoners, and we're having negotiations with Venezuela in Caracas now. So things are actually getting better in Venezuela.
Don't know who that is.
After we got rid of Maduro. So we have somebody here, and the problem that I have with this is that this is a person who is masking bad actions and terrorism under the mask of virtue. This is a person talking about how I don't care about anybody dying, but this person didn't seem to think it was important enough to talk about the Iranian regime mass murdering their own people by the thousands in the street after they turned off the internet so nobody can report on it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that they turned off the internet too.
It's just weird how there's this double standard.
Asmon, if there were no double standards, there would be no standards at all.
I wonder why. Just amazing.
And look, if this were some random guy with 40 followers, this wouldn't be worth talking about.
Textbook bad faith. It is. It's total bad faith.
It wouldn't matter. But it's not. So it does. Asmongold accused...
The argument that, he's a big YouTuber, so him having a bad opinion matters more. No, it's an opinion. You don't have to agree with it. Just because it comes from someone that you like doesn't mean you have to inherently listen. That is just a halo bias. It's easy to find yourself agreeing with them, but you gotta separate art from the artist sometimes, especially when it comes to politics. Like, you don't just magically have to agree with someone. A good example of this, a few streams ago, Kirsha, I like her. I enjoy her content. She had a kind of piss poor take, and someone in chat pointed it out, but effectively, her take was, oh yeah, there was a guy, he made a video going over the leaflet thing. I'm not going to watch the video, but it's probably right. That is anchoring bias. That is a halo effect. You are, and I say anchoring bias because she has already seen, like, in the past, some of the stuff, and she already dislikes what she knows about the situation involving leaflet, which didn't really involve her. But because she previously watched the creator's videos, not leaflet, the other guy, harmful opinion, because she previously watched his stuff, she was inclined to just believe what he said without watching it. And I don't remember the guy exactly. It was something, he had like a black and white thing. What are they called? Icon. There we go. And he kind of hounded her for it, kind of rudely, but the point still stands that you can't just go with what someone says. And especially, and I understand what Woodford's trying to say here, that, oh, he has a lot of people watching him, he needs to watch what he says. If they're watching him for what he says, like Nick Fuentes, I don't like what Nick Fuentes says, but just because he has a large following doesn't mean he can't say it. I don't think you should follow what he says, but that is me. Like, and that isn't even universal. Some things, okay, I can understand his argument there. He makes a fairly sound statement. But getting back to it, just because it is someone you watch, just because it is someone with a large following, doesn't magically make them right. Along with that, saying someone can't say something just because they have a large following is dumb. It just is.
Accumulated 2.4 billion YouTube views in 2025 alone.
It's more than that. It's a lot more than that.
Humble brag. Humble.
Is according
I
to
have more than 2 YouTube channels, but yes.
Media Matters, more than any other right-leaning streamer or podcaster that they track. His channels have nearly 6 million subscribers combined. In 2025, he topped the North American Twitch chart.
I think he has more.
With 26.
Then again, I might be thinking of other platforms aside from YouTube.
2 million hours watched, beating out every other streamer on the platform.
It's worth smiling.
This is not a niche figure. This is the largest right-leaning political voice in streaming. This is not a niche.
What did he say?
Figure. This is the largest right-leaning political voice.
Such a good boy.
In streaming, and his audience skews
Such a
young
good
and
boy.
male. The exact demographic that's most disengaged from traditional media, and
I don't know about that.
Wait, what?
That's most disengaged from traditional. The largest right-leaning political.
He's not. Asmon really isn't right-leaning. Like, he's as right-leaning as Tim Pool. And something tells me that anything, to the right of Marx for this guy, or to the right of Bernie Sanders for this guy, would probably be right-leaning compared to him. So, but that is assuming, that is kind of a straw man. But something tells me, because 9 times out of 10, when I hear someone of this crowd, I don't want to say ilk has kind of a bad connotation to it, but someone like Woodford. Another example would be Brian Shapiro, someone politically aligned like them. Anything that is slightly, hey, let's keep this around in comparison to them. You know, classical conservative potentially. Right wing extremist, but straw manning, rambling. I'll shut up.
Voice in streaming, and his audience skews young and male. The exact demographic.
A lot of streamers skew young and male. Oh boy, it's raining in the rainforest. What a shock.
That's most disengaged from traditional media, and
I don't know about that. Well, yeah, traditional media. Oh, yeah. No, he's right about that. It's mainly like 24. It's like plus minus.
I don't know if, and he's kind of using an ambiguous term here, and Asmon's giving a little bit of context, but are they really? I haven't checked personally, so I'm gonna assume that Woodford's right here.
It's 10 my age. I'm 35, so it's mainly like probably 25 to like 45-year-old guys that are watching. Mostly, okay. Yeah.
Most susceptible to parasocial trust. And what is the audience hearing right now? Stay out of it. Unless Trump does it. Then
when did Asmon say that?
And it's amazing. Now,
because if this isn't a quotation out of context, if he didn't say it, along with that, you gotta, let me rephrase. Even if he did say something along those lines, then it's quotation out of context. If he said something sort of kind of ish, but not quite, like could be interpreted a few different ways, then it's kind of like a paraphrase out of context. In this case, he's just being disingenuous, but worth mentioning.
Oh, it is good. It's good. And I think that this is the person that has...
Yeah, okay, never mind. Asmon's balls deep in it.
As terminal fucking Trump derangement syndrome. And I hate saying that because I think that it's cringe. But at the same time, I feel like with a channel like this, it kind of works that way.
That's fair. I don't know exactly how I want to format this, so I'll just let Asmon continue.
Holy fuck, man. Look at all of these videos. Every single video is a negative video about Trump. So really, I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with Trump. So if you're attacking me for my position, let's talk about what the actual position is rather than who supports it. I think this is boring.
Makes this more than...
It is. That's... At least in my opinion, it is.
Just a standard influencer flip-flopping for views. In the first clip, the anti-war one, Asmongold isn't making some nuanced case for strategic restraint.
Did he say he was? Because Asmon said it earlier, he was just saying, yeah, this is what people kind of think of whenever this is happening. Like, he's very clearly not. Well, I shouldn't say very clearly. Maybe this guy only saw clips and he's making his entire opinion on that. I don't know because I'm not this guy, but it wouldn't be the first time someone's done that. Won't be the last.
He's not citing defense budgets or troop deployments.
Yes.
He's quite literally vibing.
How many people cite troop deployments and pricing? Like, how many people just actively, oh yeah, well, this is what this is. Like, I know some statistics, mostly because I have talked about them. Like, I could give you a rough breakdown on, you know, gun deaths in America, like basically what are used, what are the most common causes of death when it comes to firearm usage. Fun fact is suicide, but that's besides the point.
Intervention.
Well, yeah, of course I'm vibing because I was talking about the way that the average voter was thinking.
Yeah, exactly. He said that earlier.
which means that they're not going to be looking at any of the things that he mentioned. They're not going to look at an international second order effect of, the Strait of Hormuz being closed. They don't even know what the Strait of Hormuz is. So whenever I'm talking about the way an average voter is going to think about things or how they're going to approach things, then yes, absolutely, I'm going to talk about it based off of vibes, because the average voter votes off of vibes.
Yeah. This entire point of him saying, oh, he's flip-flopping, and then he pulls up, well, he doesn't actually pull up the clip itself, but then he says, oh, he's not citing this, he's not doing that. Yeah, that's an inconsequent argument, because he wasn't, no shit, he was talking about it.
Of course. Duh.
He's just giving his honest opinion, I don't want to say surface level, but not so far into the mud that he can't avoid getting dirty.
Isn't a word. He's rifting the way that...
Duh.
What isn't a word?
Isn't a word.
Absolutely.
What isn't a word?
Anti-war one. Asmongold isn't making some nuanced case for strategic restraint. He's not citing defense budgets or troop deployments.
Yes.
He's quite literally vibing. Interventionary.
Well, yeah, of course I'm vibing, because I was talking about the way that the average voter is going to think about stuff of vibes, because...
Isn't a word.
Interventionary? No, it's not a word. It isn't an official word, but you know what he's saying. Okay. To quote, I didn't end up making a video on it. I did watch it. Jackson, I made videos on him in the past. What do words mean? Was one of his videos, and to an extent, I can agree with what he says. Effectively, he described it as words have kind of, if you were to put them on a graph, if you were to put a word on a graph, you have a level of understanding, you have a level of, not exactly distortion of the word, but a scale of literal usage, the definition, the denotative, as he said, and then you have the living form of the word, if I were to say dope, I'm not talking about a drug, I'm talking about something being interesting, being cool. Now, when I say cool, I'm not talking about temperature, I'm talking about something being of interest or of common fashion. That would be connotative. If you really want to be picky about it, certain words in the English language literally are just amalgamations of 3 different languages put all to one. I'm pretty sure octopus is both Greek and Latin. If you were to put it break it apart, it makes sense, but the word itself in either of those languages doesn't exist. Now, you know what an octopus is. So when he says interventionary, no, interventionary isn't a word. It's not written, pardon, it isn't written down in a dictionary, but with connotation and with a little bit of critical thinking, you can figure out what he's trying to say. Mostly because interventionary, and then his interventionary, he's using it as a sorry, got distracted. He's using it as an adjective to describe policy. Well, it could also be used as an adverb because it can be used to describe certain actions. But you know what he's saying. It doesn't matter that, oh, it's not a real word. Okay, sure, Mr. Harvard educated, or Yorkshire, whatever big college they have over there. I think it's Yorkshire. I don't remember. All the big colleges, and everyone comes over to America for. So, but that's besides the point. That's completely pointless of an argument. Not the word part, but, the follow-up. But this argument is not actually a word, you uneducated swine. Well, you know what he was trying to say. If I say the who's it, what's it, the thing, grab me that. Well, if I'm talking about a spanner or a wrench, if you know what I'm referring to when I say, give me that, it doesn't matter what I call it. I can call it the Hususwetset from Mars. And if you know that I'm talking about the wrench, it's the wrench. The wrench is the Hususwetset from Mars. I'm rambling.
But he's riffing the way that he riffs about everything, because that's what he does.
Well, yeah, I'm live every day for hours.
The use of riff here, by the way, implies that he doesn't have like some sort of anchor to what he believes. He's trying to imply that Asmon doesn't actually have any greater, I don't want to say limits, but doesn't have any sort of like anchoring opinion, like a baseline for why he believes the things that he does. That's what he's trying to imply here.
Duh. What the hell do you expect?
He plays clips, he reacts, he gives his gut take, and his audience takes it as gospel because he sounds like a guy who doesn't care what anyone else thinks. And in the second clip, the pro-war one, the same dynamic is at play. He hasn't read the intelligence briefings. He doesn't know Iran's nuclear negotiating history.
Oh, so Mr. Brit over here knows everything about what the Americans know, just magically. Now, I understand that this is a bit of a leap. Like, this is fairly detached, but I think my point still stands here. You don't know everything. You don't know if the Americans are actively checking that. Fun fact, a lot of them don't. You don't know if Asmon has checked those, like in his free time, because he's not Asmon. He doesn't know. I'm not going to say it's attacking a straw man, but he's like pissing into the wind here. And he's saying it's raining, and you don't actually know. That's not a good example. No. He is effectively punching the air and saying he's winning.
He can't name.
You mean all the times that they didn't do what they said they were going to do? They're building, so let me get this straight. You think that building the nuclear facility inside of a mountain, there's no reason, no way at all, that they're making nuclear weapons? I mean, like, you just think about this for 3 seconds. Who's doing this?
Yeah, come on.
Any of the members.
Like, I don't think it takes a leap in logic. I don't think it's a slippery slope to say, oh, they're digging a cave into a mountain and they're moving uranium there. Oh my God, they're going to build a nuke. If you have enough things happening all at once, and I went over this in a previous video, if you have them doing effectively a space program, and you have them enriching uranium well beyond what they would need to, just saying, it's not a leap of faith, a leap of logic. You're not taking a leap of faith into some crazy conspiracy. I'd say it's a pretty easy A to B to C, but that could just be me.
Members of the IRGC. Yes. What he does know is that Daddy Trump did it.
Well, I do know the members of the IRGC. You find
this is also he's trying to ridicule him by utilizing, and he's going to say, because Daddy Trump said it, he must be right. Okay, so I'm gonna say stuff that'd get me in trouble. But just because Daddy Trump said it means that it must be wrong is equally stupid. Like, just, oh boy, what a fantastic fucking argument.
Find out a new one's dead every day.
Trump doing things is content, and supporting what Trump does is...
It's about being...
Dissing what Trump does is also content, which you are guilty of. This is a stupid argument, because anything that he is saying that Asmongold is doing, he is doing himself.
Trump. Okay, let's move past this. Is this all just about Trump? Holy shit.
Path of least resistance with his audience. So he's...
Oh, once again, like making content that just disses Trump and the administration of a country that well, let me rephrase this. I don't know if he is in America or not. I know he likely wasn't born here, considering he has an accent, and considering, like, I believe he's from the UK, and I'm pretty sure he's still in the UK. With a grain of salt, I'm not him. I don't know that for sure. But I don't understand how you can say, oh, he's just making content off of Trump because it's easy. Well, motherfucker, you're doing the exact same thing. Like, you're calling Asmongold here a kettle. Motherfucker, you're an equally black pot. It's
dramatically, tremendously happy.
I disagree with that. I think that's not even true. I think that there's been a tremendous amount of people that have been upset about the fact that I've been supportive of the war. There's been a huge amount of people that have been upset about me doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Even people that are on the right that are upset about it. So this idea that, like, me taking this perspective is the path of least resistance is not true. I actually think that there's more of an overwhelming consensus of people that are against it. So I don't even think this is true.
People are against boots on the ground war. Not necessarily, oh, the dictator that keeps saying, hey, death to America. We got rid of him. Sweet. We're not sending people in on foot. Sweet. And now, of course, I have heard people say the second we touch down in there and we have to send, like, people on foot, then we're going to have problems. Like, that is a fair stance to take. If we end up getting into a huge multi-year war, like we had with Afghanistan, like we had with Iraq, like, I can definitely hell. Actually, I won't say that I would, but I would eat crow. Like, I would reveal my face and I would eat crow in front of the camera. But something tells me that's not going to happen.
Just dramatically, tremendously happy this has happened.
And the thing is, he told us this would happen because Zach, and this is a direct quote, has said that he places no weight on principles or morality,
Quotation out of context.
Describing them as top-down ideas that are given to you by the elites.
Hold on. Let me pull up the quote. I can't remember it verbatim, but if you had gun, gun. Yeah, I think it's circulated. No, there's an older quote. Yeah, there's an older quote to it. I don't remember what it is, but it's definitely older than this. But effectively, the quote is, if you hold a gun and I hold a gun, we can talk about the law. You hold a gun, and if you hold a knife and I hold a knife, we can talk about the rules. If you come empty-handed and I come empty-handed, we can talk about reason. But if you have a gun and I only have a knife, then the truth lies in your hands. And if you have a gun and I have nothing, what you hold isn't just a weapon, it is my life. When you have people who don't really give a shit, they will use any weapon against you. They don't give a shit that you don't have a weapon. They have a gun and they don't like you. They will use it. If you do not have a gun, when they have a gun, you can't talk about rules. They'll just take your life. What he is saying here with... Hold on.
Because Zach, and this is a direct quote, has said that he plays...
Yeah. When he's saying, I think that these are top-down ideas given to you by the elites, it rings in my head as this. Right there. Right down here is the quote. It rings to me that when you are having a conversation with someone or trying to have an argument or trying to intellectually challenge someone that won't actually like hold to any standards. And that kind of reminds me of the I don't give a shit what you say. The grass can be purple so long as I'm right and you're wrong. Like that's what it reminds me of. When you're dealing with someone, like these are the top down ideas that are given to you by the elites, as I've said, and I will say it again. It doesn't really matter because they don't care. And when I use they, yes, hasty generalization, but they as in the amorphous, ambiguous other party, primarily the left, you'll find that this, what he said, does ring true. But I'm ranting, I'm raving, I'm getting off point.
Places no weight on principles or morality, describing them as top-down ideas that are given to you by the elites.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if your principles and your morality lead you to a conclusion that says that you should allow a country to build a nuclear bomb who their main slogan that they say is killing your country and destroying your country, then what purpose are the principles and your morality? Like this entire idea
exactly
principles and morality can be applied.
In this situation, you're coming barehanded. You're trying to be honest, trying to be righteous, and they'll just fucking shoot you. They have the gun. That's not a weapon. That is your life in their hands.
Applied to every situation in the same way is just, it's delusional. It's totally delusional. This is something that you can do with people that have similar principles and similar morality, but you can't do that to people that are trying to build a nuclear bomb and kill you.
Literally, once again, if you hold a gun and I hold a gun, if you hold a knife and I hold a knife, if you come empty-handed, I come empty-handed, but if you have a gun and I'm empty-handed, that is my life. It's literally this.
The reality is that you have to act in a way that's in the best interest of your survival and the survival of other people around you.
Right.
And whenever you're in charge of their well-being, you need to make that decision in the grand scope of what is in their best interest, not basically throwing them to the wolves so you can feel like you did the right thing. I don't think that that's the right thing. I think that's very, very one-dimensional, self-referential, completely, what's the word for this? Like, it's just basically narcissistic values, narcissistic principles. I don't think that's a good idea at all. Whenever you put other people at risk because of your perceived principles, to what purpose were the principles even made? Why do you even have them if the outcome of the principles is that you put people at risk?
Moral grandstanding. Moral grandstanding. That is why. Of course, people who morally grandstand, I won't say everyone, because unfortunately, some people who really shouldn't do morally grandstand and then they just get their shit rocked because I'm going to have a gentleman's fist fight and bang, 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 bang.
Seems like a big idea, a bad idea.
Along with that, and trust me, someone who's going to make these kinds of arguments, and when I say someone who's going to make these kinds of arguments, yes, I am referring to Woodford, not Woodworth. Woodford here. He will utilize anything he can just to shit on Asmon. He will utilize anything he can to shit on Trump. He will use anything to shit on anyone as long as it can get him views. Because he does not care. He holds the gun. The gun does not care. If you pull the trigger, the gun goes off. And he will say, oh, what kind of man are you trying to come at me with a gun? Use your hands.
Said that in his own words.
A little bit of straw manning. If you want to try to make the argument, I'll give it to you.
A man.
I think I'm still well-founded, though, but that's besides the point.
6 million subscribers told his audience that he places no weight or no principles on morality. And somehow...
Not exactly a quotation out of context, but being a little disingenuous with the framing, I would say.
Correct. Yes. Yes. What does that have to do with it?
How that didn't disqualify him from being treated as a
It's on the
serious...
video.
What does that have to do with it?
How that didn't disqualify...
Yes.
Okay,
what does
it
that
was.
have to do with it?
How that didn't disqualify him from being treated as a serious voice on geopolitics. This is the...
That's because I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint.
Oh boy.
Every single other person that is running a big country thinks like I do. Do you think the guy that's running China thinks like this? Do you think do you think Donald Trump thinks like this? How do you think Donald Trump thinks? He thinks like I think. For sure. Guaranteed.
Probably.
Duh.
The same man who, in October of 2024, called Palestinians terrible people from an inferior culture, and that he doesn't feel bad nor cares about them. All this on a live Twitch stream. Listen to it yourself for context.
If you...
You've already given an anchor, so I am reluctant to just flat out believe it.
I can't play this, I'll get banned. But yes. Those people
being killed in Gaza.
Oh, did he whole hog it?
Yes.
And he told his audience that people who have genocide baked into their laws deserve to be
I was just talking about Hamas, basically. I wasn't...
Yeah. You know the smite the kafir at the neck part of the Quran? That part? It's in there. It's not hard to find. I mean, I could find it with a Google search, but I don't know if, that'd piss off YouTube.
I wasn't talking about all of Palestine. I was just talking about Hamas. I used the wrong vocabulary.
Decided. He was banned from Twitch for 14 days.
Yes.
He stepped down from his leadership roles at the gaming organization that he co-founded.
By the way.
He posted an apology that amounted to, "My bad."
My bad. Of course, no one deserves to have their life destroyed, even if they do. What is that?
And then he came back, his audience grew, and within months, he was the biggest...
And so this is the type... Oh, wait, let me
political...
Well, he's saying, oh my god, how could he say something? But then he, says, hey, what I said was wrong, and now you're going to use that against him too? So, it's... Asmongold's bad because he said this. Asmongold is a wish-washy coward because he apologized? What the fuck? What the fuck are you trying to say here, Woodward? Woodford? God damn it. That's the second time I've done that.
Streamer on the internet.
Well, so there it is. So he did not even include the fact that I did a YouTube apology. He didn't add that in. And I think that
what a
he
surprise.
never even said that.
What a surprise.
And I think the reason why is very clearly that it would not help his argument. That's really the reason why. And so, because you don't care? Yeah, why would people care about that, number one? I think that people have watched me for a very long time, and they know where I stand on most issues. So do I say things sometimes that are a bit too extreme? Yeah, of course. I think anybody on a live stream is going to do that if they're put in front of a camera long enough, definitely. But I think that what happens is that people expect to see, like, oh, there's going to be perfect behavior. That's absolutely not what's going to happen, number one. And number two, I already said that was a bad idea to say anyway. So what are we even talking about this for? And then to say that the only thing that I said as a response to that was the tweet, I think he's intentionally trying to misunderstand this. And this is, again, he's trying to frame it around something that this is the new framing that he's using, right? Is he's trying to say that I'm a very bad person, and then whenever I, went to apologize, I basically delegitimized it, or I didn't take it seriously, which is a mischaracterization. I think it's a...
Yeah, like I said, oh, you said this horrible thing. Oh, you apologized for it? Oh, you're a coward. You're backtracking.
Deliberate mischaracterization.
To this, he hasn't distanced himself from Nick Fuentes, a white nationalist and Holocaust denier. He's done the opposite, in fact.
Yeah, I think Nick's great. Too bad. Cry about it.
Treated the idea of streaming with him like an eventuality. Listen to how
it will be.
He responds when collaboration comes up.
Does he want me to reach out to him?
I think that we might have to wait till next year for that one.
It's true. That's a fact.
I gotta listen to it. Sorry.
He's warping your points intentionally. Well, it's more about, like, this is another person that's obsessed with optics. Nobody sits in their own room and puts on a sport jacket so they can talk about politics that doesn't care about optics, okay? Kyle does the exact same thing. It's kind of cringe, but, you know, that's just how people are.
Brian Shapiro also does something similar, but he does polos.
Big Show Enjoyer sent $25.
Yeah.
Good evening, Nicholas. Steve Aldi, Asmongold. Basically nominate you for Streamer of the Year on X. Also, if non-political questions are allowed, what were your favorite video game releases 2025? All the best to you. Rooting for you from Finland.
Yeah, Asmongold has been. We got to do a stream. Does he want me to reach out to him?
I think that we might have to wait till next year for that one.
Yep.
I don't know if Twitch is ready for that one yet.
I still don't think they are yet.
Now, I will say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
He has called ICE agents American heroes. And
yes, that's correct. They
are
American heroes. And I think that ICE agents...
They're upholding the laws. Just saying.
Should be more aggressive, and I think they should tase more people. They should use more rubber bullets. And I think that they should be even more aggressive to the animals that are trying to fight them.
Okay, so, you know, be more non-lethal.
Absolutely. I mean, I guess this guy's in Britain, so he's not used to that, but over here, we don't want to have our country overrun by a bunch of foreign rapists that run gangs and then try to rape all of our women. I don't
So he is British. He is a cigarette.
want to have that happen here. We've seen what happened to you guys. It didn't work out very well. That's just me. You know, I don't know. It's just me.
Not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
he has called ICE agents American heroes
True.
and said that they aren't aggressive enough.
Absolutely. True.
He's gone further than that, in fact, calling people who oppose ICE traitors.
Also, yep.
Yep. That's also fair enough. They are trying to carry out laws. If you are trying to prevent them from carrying out laws that are meant to protect you, your community, your country, that is traitorous. That is poop shitter behavior. You should be ashamed.
Absolutely.
You can think whatever you want. The second you try to prevent them from doing anything, gavel should come down.
American heroes, keeping the country safe. Also, here's another thing. Every single person that wants to soapbox and
Dear God, he has some wacky ass nails.
talk about how much they love illegal
He could be a guitar band, like the entire band with those things. This is like 9 inches.
immigrants would never want their young children living in a house that had people that were illegal immigrants of military-aged men next door. That's the facts. None of them actually want to live with the consequences of their own performative morality. And that's the difference, is that whenever I say that I don't care about principles or morality, what I really mean by that is that I have a basically morality and principle tier list. So what I think is at the most core pinnacle thing is maintaining your safety, the safety of the people that you care about, and the safety of the people in your country. So whatever happens in order to make that happen is more or less justified. Now, there's exceptions to that very clearly, but I think that for the most part, that's true. So whenever I say that, like, oh, well, there's no principle to this, there actually is a principle to it, but it's just that that principle exists inside of a tier list. Why is Senna there? Some idiot was trying to make drama. It has nothing to do with Senna. So ICE are American heroes, and they're helping get rid of illegal aliens in the country. Anybody who's against ICE, in my opinion, and wants to get rid of ICE or says fuck ICE, is a traitor. Critical of them, too. I don't think they're aggressive enough. I don't think they're brutal enough.
None of this is hidden. None of this is
Okay.
controversial.
And you see, by the way, he hasn't actually refuted anything that I've said. He's never presented a counterpoint. This is a person who thrives and exists entirely inside of the realm of optics. This is a person who, what they do is they just simply present things that I say, and they assume that their audience will watch it and think that, oh my God, he's so horrible, he's so bad, there's no way you're allowed to say this.
He's a Jubilee clip farmer is basically what Asmon's trying to say.
You're not actually presenting any sort of secondary perspective besides this. You're just simply saying that my perspective is bad, and you're not even really explaining why in a lot of cases. You're just basically saying that this sounds bad. It's pretty...
Yeah, it's all quotation out of context, effectively. well, most of it. Every now and again, he threw something in that has a little bit of context to it.
Embarrassing, honestly. But that's, I guess, what you get when you find a guy that's wearing a sport jacket to make a video behind his anime figurines. Oh, wait, no, these aren't anime. Well, that guy actually... Is that a Black Knight from Dark Souls 1? I think it...
No, I think it's an Odin.
They have the halberd. That's different. I don't know what that is.
I'm pretty sure
within
it's Odin.
His community.
Yes.
It is the community.
Optics,
and that
yes.
brings us back to Iran, because here's where the giggling stops.
So this is also, again, keep in mind, not...
Okay, so the difference between our people holding up our laws against people who are invading our country and people trying to prevent our law enforcement from carrying out the laws that we have already passed. And now we're going to shift over to a country that has said death to America, death to the Jews, or death to America, death to Israel, a curse upon the Jews, and to smite, have literally in their own religious texts to smite non-believers at the neck, not even in the sexy way either. No, with a sword. Okay, yeah, that's not a faulty analogy by any extension.
Not a single bit of counter-argument, not a single, like, point of view about ICE. Just simply, this is what I think, and we all know how bad ICE is, guys. So that's it. Man, too bad.
Or at least it should do. On February 28th...
It should do? Hold on. Let me get the...
Back to Iran, because here's where the giggling stops.
So this is also, again, keep in mind, all know how bad. Too bad.
Launch joint... Or at least it should do. On February 28th, the United States and Israel launched joint strikes on Iran, killing Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and triggered
Bozo, rest in piss.
A spiraling regional conflict that...
A literal mass murderer, religious tyrant.
Wait a minute, hold on. What did he say?
Khamenei...
A what? An aspiring what?
And triggered
Bozo, rest in piss.
A spiraling regional conflict that...
A literal mass murderer, religious tyrant that has been...
And it didn't trigger anything. Because guess what? Khamenei said, hey, we're going to build this nuke, and then we're going to nuke America. Like, he openly said this. As the funny Britman would say it, he openly said this. This isn't a secret.
Been terrorizing the Iranian people for 30 years. Thank God he's dead.
Yep.
Thank God. And again, before anybody, every single Shia Muslim,
Wait, only 30? I thought wait, hold on. Was he... I thought he was the one that came into power back in, like, when they first did their revolution.
Single Sunni...
Because that would have been more than 30 years ago at this point, right?
Muslim, every single Iranian resident should look at that
I don't know.
And say, thank God this horrible fucking person is dead.
A lot of them around the world did. Like, it was a huge thing. Like, I'm not on TikTok, but I heard from people who are that there was a huge thing of, like, people dancing on TikTok. Fun fact, if you danced during the Khamenei regime, and still the current regime technically of Iran, you know, the hyper religious regime, the theocracy of Islam, that is Iran, if you dance, you just get fucking executed. And people were dancing because they didn't have to fear getting executed anymore. The Iranian people loved this.
This guy's awful.
He's disingenuous, too.
As of today, has claimed over 1,000 Iranian lives, 11...
Oh, let's care about the Iranian lives. Let's look at that. Oh, wow. Wait a...
The Iranian lives. And I have a suspicion... once again, I don't remember everything of this video, but I have a sneaking suspicion Asmon's going to try to obfuscate a little bit, which rightfully so, because he's going to say, oh, well, Woodford's going to say, oh, the innocent Iranians, and he hasn't made a fucking video dedicated to them from what was visible earlier. But he's going to piss and moan. Once again, performative. as Asmon said, he's being performative. He doesn't actually care.
Wait a minute. There's not a single video about
Bingo.
all of the Iranian lives that were lost in the protests whenever the same guy that
30 to 100,000. I haven't been able to find where it said 100,000, so grain of salt with that one. But I was able to find multiple that said at least 30.
you're trying to say that we killed, that we did, to be fair, killed all these people. Not a single fucking video about it. This is
Along with that, I wouldn't be surprised. You can find the videos. Effectively, the videos depict people celebrating that Ding Dong the Witch is dead, and people from the IRGC just shooting at them because, they're celebrating, they're dancing. And as I mentioned before, dancing is against the law in Iran, and it's punishable by death. And people were just getting shot on their balconies by IRGC just driving past. I wouldn't be surprised if potentially those deaths are counted as war fatalities, because it's something that they would do. They, as in the IRGC.
I think this is a very great example of how optics invert morality. Is that I don't want to see Iranian people killed. I don't want to see that happen. I think it's horrible that that's happened. And
right.
I've been consistent.
Of course, lives lost is always terrible. Unless, you are a dictator who has put people basically to death for dancing, or women to death for saying, I think.
About that, and I look at this problem at the root. The root of that problem is the Ayatollah and the regime that supports the Ayatollah. I support getting rid of that regime. I think that in doing so, we will save not thousands, but probably over the years, millions of lives in doing so. Will it cost lives in doing that? Yes, it will. But costing some lives now is better than costing way more lives later on.
Would you kill baby Hitler? That's basically the point. Like, if you could stop Hitler from ever doing anything, but you had to kill him as a baby, would you save the 6 million? Some sources claim only 272,000. There's evidence that it's more. Would you kill baby Hitler? This is basically the point of what Asmon's kind of saying here.
This isn't a conflict that you can just kick the can down the down the curb and assume, oh well, it'll work itself out.
Yeah, Hitler will get rejected from art school eventually.
Hasn't worked itself out. It never has. You have a childlike worldview? Well, it's very one-dimensional. So you have not a single video this person has made at all about, RFK, 83 children dead. So this is it. All you do is you criticize, American Republicans. Meanwhile, Britain is on fire, basically. Like, shit's going crazy over in Britain. And by the way, because of policies that I don't know whether this guy supports or not, he seems like somebody that would support them, but I don't want to put words in his mouth. But either way, not a single video about the Iranian massacres. Isn't that crazy? Oh, this is from 10 months ago. Yeah. Not a single video about that.
What a shock.
And now he wants to soapbox about how terrible it is that the Iranians were killed by these airstrikes. It is terrible. It's horrible. It's a tragedy. Obviously, it's terrible when civilians die. But where's your video about the other 40,000, 30,000 people that were killed? Body bags lined up on the streets. I don't think you don't care about Iranian people. The only reason why he's talking about the Iranian people, like he cares about them, is so he can use it as a bludgeon to get mad at Trump again, because that's his entire fucking grift.
If you hold a gun and I hold a gun, we can talk about the law. I don't have to read the rest. I think I can just look down, and I think it gets the point across enough.
That is the entire channel. Narrative pusher? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
People in Israel and 6 American soldiers, with Iranian retaliatory strikes hitting targets in Kuwait,
you want to show
Bahrain.
us Kason said real quick? Oh yeah, there is this too.
Wait a minute. Retaliatory strikes hitting countries that aren't involved? Like Kuwait and Bahrain? Oh wait, no. I'm I'm thinking of countries. Bahrain and Kuwait are bases. I'm an idiot. Never mind. I'm thinking of Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Well, UAE isn't exactly a country, but
yeah, just real quick.
Actually, hold on. I need to double check that. Is the UAE a country on its own? Oh, it is a sovereign country. I thought it was like a goofy, like Switzerland deal. Not Switzerland. God damn it, what's it called? Like it. Oh, piss. I'm trying to think of the actual like city in Switzerland. The one where it's like the central hub area where like all the countries go for all sorts of different things. Like government stuff. Fuck, what is that city called? I thought it was like that. Like it was kind of a pseudo. It's given like a lot of leeway, kind of like Hong Kong with China. Like Hong Kong is technically part of China, but it has like a lot of leeway when it comes to its own policies. Like that sort of deal. I thought it was like that. The more I know. Let me bring this back down. No. Slide. There we go.
Guys are making it about Israel and America, how yo, bro, do you guys understand what Iran? You guys didn't even live there. You don't know. I have family there. I hear stories. I've been to Iran before. You guys don't even know.
Don't listen to him. Listen to the random British guy tell you how, no, it's not that bad, and it's actually America that's at fault here.
Well, the British guy knows better because all the people from Iran and Iraq and a bunch of other Muslims came up to England. They told him himself. They told him themselves.
Don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Everyone just sits there and talks about whatever the thing they talk about and push some agenda.
Jesus Christ.
They're just pushing an agenda, bro.
This is really good.
They're
pushing an agenda. Holy shit. Everybody calls this shit out. It is so self-serving. It is embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing.
And 6 American soldiers, with Iranian retaliatory strikes hitting targets in Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE.
Oh, so he does. Yeah, so it's a bunch of other countries that aren't America or Israel. It's almost as though other people in the region supported it. And Iran is, full of terrorists that needed to be put down. Not in the shooting part. And like the they need to be stopped part.
The U.S. consul in Dubai.
You see right here. What is this here? Oh, let me finish.
Put down on the map, if you will.
It was struck by Iranian drones. The Strait of Hormuz, through which 20%...
So not a single mention of the fact that Iran has taken literally no action to delineate between attacking civilians or the military.
Why would he mention that? Why would he say something that would make you sound reasonable or make him... Oh, wait. He wouldn't say that because that would deflate his argument. That would deflate his point.
Iran is flying lawnmowers into hotels. Like, they deliberately target civilians. They have done so for decades. This is what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Of the world's oil passes has effectively shut down, and Trump has written on social media that the United States has a virtually unlimited supply of weapons and that wars can be fought forever.
Quotation out of context. Basically, imagine this. Someone is trying to pick a fight. And they say, oh, I can lift such and such. You either say, oh, well, I work out, so such and such. Like you puff out your chest, and then it's, oh my God, look at this guy. Oh, he works out. And then they can mock you because it's, oh, something to attack. But then if you say, oh, I don't need to work out to beat you, it's, oh, this guy doesn't work out, what a loser. Like it's effectively when Trump says that we can make this last forever, he's saying, oh, we can outlast you. But of course, this guy's not going to present it as such. He's going to say, oh, Trump is a warmonger, because of why would he try to give any credence to Trump? I mean, we've seen his other content. He's not exactly the most Trump friendly, is he?
You know,
well, yeah, of course that's what he said, because the media perpetrated a lie, or basically what the media does
Perpetuated.
Is that this is the way the media creates a permission structure to promote propaganda and lies.
Also known as a raposmear.
Is that one media outlet?
Oh, raposmear is a little different.
It says that according to a source familiar with the topic, that, you know, American missile supplies are getting low. So, you know, then somebody else quotes that and they say, well, according to this media outlet, you know, now American missile supplies are getting low. And so then you have a bunch of other people now collectively coming together to say this same thing, but it was really just one person that said this, and it's not corroborated one way or another. So that's the reason why Trump said that. And then whenever Trump said that, then they just took it and went in the opposite direction with creating propaganda that now, oh, well, Trump says the war is going to go on forever. So it's either you're running out of missiles and you're going to lose the war because you have bad logistics, or you're never going to run out of missiles, and that means that you want to have the war forever. It's either
exactly.
I'm right or you're wrong.
Yeah. I make fun of you or I make fun of you. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of deal. It's better to at least do something and be damned than do nothing and be damned, because then you have no reason to complain.
Known as Operation Epstein Fury, a special military campaign. You know, totally not a war. This is
Epstein
epic.
Fury.
Wow. So whoever went creative.
Oh God.
War.
Is he one of these people?
Asmongold
Probably.
is tremendous.
It's like literally child marriage is acceptable in Iran. You can literally have there's no need to be Jeffrey Epstein in Iran because it's not against the law. There would be no Epstein files in Iran. Those would just be called marriage certificates.
Happy and excited about. 4 of the 6 dead American soldiers were Army Reserve members working in logistics. The people.
So what you're saying is they were people. Oh, sorry, 4 of the 6. Okay, so 4 of the 6 soldiers were working in logistics. That's what he just said. So you're telling me that Iran targeted effectively like the closest thing you can get to a civilian like job. I mean, they don't care if they're civilians or not, but you care that they're service members. If they were working in a civilian like depot, if they were working in an Amazon warehouse just because they needed the space, and the people over in Iran said, hey, here you go ahead and use this warehouse, would you complain that, oh, it was a civilian building hit? No. But you only care that it is U.S. soldiers that aren't even in your country. So I don't understand why he's so, oh. But that might just be my own inability to comprehend. What I'm trying to say, I'm dancing around. He only cares that these soldiers were killed, not the fact that they were working in logistics. They weren't being active soldiers in the same way that maybe the other 2 were. I don't know what the other 2 were doing, but okay, working in logistics, keeping troops supplied, so they weren't active fighters? So you're telling me that Iran basically targeted pseudo-civilians. That's all I'm getting here. Iran was the bad guy, targeting people that weren't even fighting. Okay.
Who keep troops supplied with food and equipment. They were killed by a drone strike on a port in Kuwait. One of them, Sergeant Declan Cody, was just
on a port in Kuwait. So you're telling me that they were in, I'm pretty sure Kuwait's like its own country, right? Like it's not just a region, it's an actual country. Oh, it's spelled with K. No wonder people look at me weird when I try to spell it. Okay, yeah, Kuwait is its own country. So Iran is launching missiles outside of its country to attack our military, which they've been doing, or they've been doing on and off through terror cells for the past basically ever. Well, not ever. Ever since, the Islamic regime, the theocracy part of it, rose to power. They're pretty cool back in like the 60s, but we're not gonna get into that.
Just 20 years old. He was studying cybersecurity at Drake University. He was taking online classes while deployed. His sister...
This is more moralizing.
It's emotional appeals. Like, this is all this is.
Talking about this, yes, obviously, this is emotion-based logic. There's no actual reasoning here at all. It's basically you standing on the on the bodies of dead soldiers to try to justify why your like fucking non-stop hate for, I guess, Donald Trump or America is going to justify us not getting rid of Iran that is like responsible for killing thousands of people.
Along with that, they just killed 6 American soldiers. And they've killed more American citizens, once again, through terror cells. All I'm getting out of this is we need to make sure that the current regime is gone. Because if we don't completely obliterate them, they're just going to come back. I don't think this is as much of a slam dunk as he thinks it is, because this is more of a reason to get rid of them. Like, I don't know. 1 theater, 2 movies, I guess.
Like tens of thousands of people, of their own people.
Said that she still doesn't fully believe that it's real. Another, Sergeant First Class Nicole Amar, was days away from flying home to her husband and 2 children in Minnesota. She was an avid gardener. She made salsa with her son from the peppers in her garden. She didn't make it back. In Minab, in southern Iran, a missile struck an elementary girls' school on a Saturday morning while students were in class. 165 people were killed, most back. In Minab, in southern Iran, a missile struck an elementary girls' school on a Saturday morning.
On a Saturday... Hold on, let me double check, because 6 in my mind, it was the 9th. Wasn't it? Maybe it was the 9th when I heard of it. Hold on. School, Iran. Let's see. Sajre. Oh, geez, that was back in February? Really? I thought it was into March. Am I thinking of when Soleimani died? Hold on. Or not Soleimani. Khamenei. Khamenei. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of when I heard about Khamenei dying. Okay, so riddle me this, Buttman. Why would we... Because from what I'm seeing, it was on the 28th of February. All right. strike. Okay. So, February 28th. Like, maybe this is... Consider this maybe an American question, but an all-girls school in Iran, you know, the country that I've gone over about how they don't really like women, on a Saturday in the middle of the day, which sticks in my mind when it was, hold on, time struck. Now, let me see. Local time, 3:30. Because when I first heard about this, like it was well after, or at least it sticks in my mind that it was. Along with that, it sticks in my mind that it was, well, it doesn't have to stick in my mind. It was on a Saturday. And it sticks in my mind that by the time, like, it was, I don't want to say reaching over into America, but when it was saying breaking news just hit, it was like 9 in the morning when I heard about it. And it was like the middle of the day. I'm just saying, it's kind of weird, but there are in fact corpses, and that is bad.
While students were in class, 165 people were killed, most of them girls aged 7 to 12. Right. Parents rushed to the site while security forces tried to push them back.
This is all just emotion. Total all emotion. What he's trying to do is he's trying to reframe the rational mind that comes to the conclusion that Iran is also the same people that killed their own people. He's trying to take you out of a rational mindset and out of logical and critical thinking, and he's trying to make you think in terms of emotions, or trying to create a structure of the conversation that requires you to say that he's right. Like, oh, wow, it's bad that kids get killed. Everybody knows this. But what you're doing is you're weaponizing those kids getting killed to protect a regime from killing 40,000, 30,000 people. That's what you're really doing. And that's the kind of moral inversion that I think a lot of these left-wing people have done, is that what they've done is that they, because their goals are not actually to help the Iranian people, they don't care about helping the Iranian people, they don't care about making life better for them, they don't have any intent of doing that. What they care about is virtue signaling on the internet, like what he's doing.
I used the descriptive of spellcasters earlier. There we go. I used the description of them being, of him in particular, being a spellcaster. He's more of an alchemist. He's trying to do whatever he can to get gold. Yeah, he's trying to turn a heavy situation like lead into gold, mostly to probably line his own pockets.
And so they're going to talk all day about this girls' school, but they won't even find the time to make a single video about the Iranians that were massacred wholesale by their own government after they turned off the internet.
Not enough lead won't make gold.
Isn't that weird? It's almost like they don't care.
Because they don't. No lead, no gold.
And it is because they don't. They don't give a shit.
Bingo.
The Al Jazeera report is also non-biased and accurate. Yeah, and Al Jazeera is state-funded media from Qatar, right? Like, and also the report came originally from Iran's military. So I find this to be very weird, is that like you're basically looking at two state-funded actors to give you an accurate assessment of, you know, what happened. And you're just taking their word for it without any sort of thinking at all.
But Asmon, Asmon, it's not like it could have been one of their own missiles that malfunctioned like some reports have stated. It's totally not that. Along with that, you know, school on a Saturday. Who the fuck has school on a Saturday? But once again, it's Iran. Maybe it has, I don't know, something different.
UNESCO called it a grave violation of humanitarian law. Iran's health ministry spokesman called it the most bitter news. Neither the US...
Well, maybe they shouldn't have killed their own people.
Nor Israel has claimed responsibility. And the most watched political streamer in the United States, the man who ate...
Well, maybe they aren't claiming responsibility because it's, oh, whoa, what the fuck is this? Let's make sure before we say anything.
18 months ago said that intervention abroad...
18? 18 whole months ago? Okay.
Was a waste of money, and the people there probably hate us, sat in his gaming chair.
Oh, so the clip from earlier? The clip that was out of context? Sure.
And said that this is amazing.
This is just amazing.
And I want
playing this
quotation out of context.
same clip again. This is...
Yeah. Which is it? When people, our soldiers died, or when the kids died? It's this guy. I have a lot more of the video left, and this is already an hour and a half video. It's also like 20 after midnight as of recording this, so I might just pause this. If the video is longer, then I definitely just paused it. Actually, you know what? I'll make this a 2-part series. I don't know. I don't remember what he talks about, because I just fucking listen in passing, but... Fuck it, we ball.
This is, again, another person who...
I'm no pussy.
Who... You see, like, there's not actually an argument being made here. There's just a moral soapbox that he's on top of, and he's using this moral soapbox to basically allow people to assume the argument. He's not actually making any sort of argument here.
Right.
Not a single point has he really said. He's never...
Well, it's not that he's not making an argument. He's making inconsequent ones. He's trying to make arguments that don't really matter, and in doing so, gives the appearance that what he is saying has some weight behind it. Newsflash, it doesn't.
Said I was like really specifically wrong about anything. It's just more that, wow, look at this bad thing that happened whenever this conflict happened. Yeah, it's bad. Sure. There's been bad things happening before this too.
Be clear about something, because you might be thinking, well, this is just a streamer. Who cares? But scale changes the equation. When Asmongold said that Palestine...
I mean, not really. Like, for instance, there are a bunch of, like, million subscriber channels that say some absolutely wacky things. I don't see them. Even on, like, a new, completely, like, blank account. You don't necessarily see them. Just because he's big doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's going to listen to what he says, even if they end up fighting him. Fun fact, a lot of people don't like Asmon. So, does scaling help him reach more people? If the algorithm allows it? Yeah, sure. Does him being a big streamer magically mean that everyone's going to listen to him? No. Maybe I'm jumping to a conclusion before he's finished with the statement, but...
Palestinians came from an inferior culture. That clip...
Islam is really, like, not good. I mean, in some places they still wipe their asses with their left hand. So, I don't know, I'm not in a position to say it's inferior, but it is. In some aspects, in some places.
It didn't stay in his stream.
They come from an inferior culture that is horrible.
It went everywhere.
In some aspects, yeah. I mean, their magic little book says, oh yeah, if your woman's complaining, you can just beat her.
Another ban.
When he says that bombing Iran is amazing,
not
that
another ban
washes over an audience of millions of young men who trust him.
In what context of bombing? If it were just, oh yeah, we're gonna blow up a bunch of puppies and kittens hospitals, that is bad. If it's, oh yeah, we like basically did a targeted strike on one building and we completely obliterated the terrorist supporting leadership. Oh no?
Precisely because he doesn't sound like a politician.
Absolutely.
He sounds like their mate. He sounds like a guy in a messy room who doesn't shower and just tells it like it is.
Because he is. I mean, that's... I don't have to be a rocket surgeon to see that.
And the it he's telling right now is that a war that has killed a 20-year-old college student, a mother of two, and 100
more moral positioning.
Emotional terms. He's not going to talk about the potentially 100,000. I will continue to say 30,000. Iranians who said, hey, we don't like our current government, and the current government at the time just fucking murdered them. He doesn't care about them, does he? He hasn't said anything on it yet, so I'm going to assume not.
There's no argument that's being made at all. Literally zero argument being made.
Yeah, he's just emotional posturing.
65 school children is awesome content.
175 by some counts.
Whoa, the content, that's a little... You see this?
I won't hold that against him too much because it's still kind of up in the air, so...
We have this little extra word so it can delegitimize and make it seem like I don't actually care about this. I don't know if I said awesome content or not. I have no idea. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But that's the reason why he said it. And let's see what I said actually in the clip that he showed of me. Let's not even worry about that. Who cares about that? It's not really that important. Yeah, it's selective emotional outrage. Yeah, it's selective emotional outrage. It's like let's look at the handful of people that have been killed.
And I'm not going to say, oh, well, you can't be outraged over this when you're not outraged over this if you haven't seen the other thing. But when you're when you're making some pretty hefty claims and you're saying, oh, this guy doesn't care about the 1,000 people who died and the additional innocent children. Well, if you are so well acquainted with the situation, then you would know about the 30,000, likely well over 30,000 people that Iran just basically killed for what we in the States, then again, they don't have it over there in Britain. But what we have in the States, our First Amendment for speaking freely against their government, and they were fucking murdered. I'm working myself into a tizzy. He doesn't care because it doesn't actually affect him.
Recently.
He's full of shit.
And then use that to ignore the tens of thousands of people that have been killed over the decades.
Right.
Let's do that.
Probably more than tens of thousands at this point.
Even within MAGA, this war is splitting people apart. Matt Walsh.
Well, then why would you make the point that I was saying this before just to be safe with my audience? If it's very clearly splitting people apart.
Oh, good point.
Exactly the most peaceful person.
Yeah, he's making two claims with one statement.
Called the White House's shifting justifications.
Why cannot be two different solutions to one equation?
For the strikes, confused, to put it mildly. That's the best he can...
At least when X is the same between them.
...do, by the way, because he's a giant cuck. Marjorie Taylor Greene sharply criticized the president.
What was that?
Very clearly splitting people apart.
Not exactly the most peaceful person, called the White House's shifting justifications for the strikes confused, to put it mildly. That's the best he can do, by the way, because he's a giant cuck.
Appeal to ridicule ad hominem? Well, it is a ridicule via ad hominem, so...
Marjorie Taylor Greene sharply criticized...
Marjorie Taylor Greene, we don't like her.
...the president for abandoning his no new wars promise.
Marjorie Taylor Greene also made like a shit... Call this non sequitur, but she also made a bunch of money when it came to her construction business. That just magically ballooned in value. I'm not saying that she's a corrupt politician, but she's not the most honest person.
The president multiple times, Donald Trump multiple times, said that he would attack Iran and prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon.
He said it all the way back in the 80s even.
He said this multiple times. To say that the no new wars is supposed to...
Along with that, like, no new wars wasn't actually like him saying, I'm not going to have a new war. It is, hey, during my previous presidency, there were no new wars, which is true. There weren't any. And technically still there aren't because it's not a war.
Offset literally 10 years of messaging is crazy. And also, like, this is just my opinion, but I think that we've been in basically a Cold War with Iran for like 20 or 30 years. Whenever we were fighting terrorist proxies in the Middle East, they were being funded by Iran. So this entire idea...
The Houthis, Hamas, what were the pirates? No, those were the Houthis. Hezbollah, there we go. That's the other H I'm thinking of. Why do they all start with H? Aside from ISIS. Is ISIS Iran?
Idea that this is a new conflict, I don't even really think is true. We spend billions of dollars every single year developing countermeasures for Iran. If we're not fighting some sort of conflict against them, then why are we spending all this money on countermeasures? What's the reason for that? Oh, jeez. 47 years? Well, I'm just saying, I mean, again, I'm 35. I'm talking about what I remember.
Tucker Carlson, who helped build the MAGA media ecosystem, called the war absolutely disgusting and evil.
Tucker Carlson is also bought and paid for by, not the UAE, Qatar. There we go. I mean, he has plenty of reasons to say, oh no, don't do this, not to the Muslims.
Even J.D. Vance, the man who endorsed Trump in 2023 specifically because he started no wars, and who said just months before the election that America's interest was very much in not going to war with Iran.
See, this isn't even an argument against what's being said. It's just him trying to selectively look at quotes and then derive hypocrisy from it.
Yeah, and you want to know the easy way to not go to war with Iran? You just say, hey, that's where the leaders are. Just obliterate it. Just drop the, well, don't drop the sun. Sun's a little too hot for the desert. It turned too much glass. But just, you know, drop like a really, really explosive dart and magically get rid of all the problems in the immediate leadership. You know, give the Iranian people the chance to change their leadership for themselves. Don't install anyone. But, you know, just if someone's going to be a problem, getting in the way of the Iranian people, getting the people that they would prefer into power, you give the Iranian people a chance to get their own people into power. And this is, yeah, what does that say? Very much, he had previously said on October 2024, our interest, I think, very much is not going to war with Iran. Okay, so he just obliterates all the problems in Iran. There's no war if you just do it all in one fell swoop.
At no point in this entire video has he presented any sort of an argument about what's being said.
That too.
Other than it gets people killed, and that's not what you said about this other thing that I'm trying to compare it to. Not a single argument has even been made.
Silent for 3 days before surfacing on Fox News to insist that this time it's different. So the administration's own ally...
I mean, for the most part, yeah.
...allies are fracturing. The vice president is performing...
Because from what I understand, so far we don't have boots on the ground in Iran. Because Iran, the only soldiers we've lost were because Iran fired missiles outside of their country into countries that are completely unaffiliated with what happened. Like, the only affiliation they have is, oh, hey, we have U.S. bases in those countries. So, Iran's... I'm getting off topic. I'm just fucking getting off topic.
Performing rhetorical gymnastics. The Senate voted on a war powers resolution, and a gaming streamer with no knowledge of the region, no understanding of the conflict, and by his own admission, no principles, is sitting in Austin, Texas, giggling about how amazing.
Wow. Wow. And here you are getting mad about it. You're crying about it every single day.
And he's not making an argument? Like, oh, he's sitting down in his chair in Texas. Okay. And like, this is completely, it's inconsequent. He's not even making an argument. He's just making an inconsequent statement.
You make videos about this crying every single day. It's embarrassing, man.
Gotta respect the grind.
And
Not much, but I can respect it. I mean, I only make a video like once every so often. Once every sometimes.
Again, you can get mad. Like, I don't care about the personal insults. It's just disappointing that we haven't even had a single... This is the problem that I have with a lot of these videos, is that they have really no substance to them at all.
Mm-hmm. All balls, no shaft.
All it is emotional and moral grandstanding, the optics of a conversation and the way that things are said, and then bad faith hypocrisy attempts.
Mm-hmm.
This is in no way advocating for any sort of argument. It's not making the world a better place. It's not talking about how to move forward and how to make things better. It has nothing like that at all. All it is just, this is what you said, and that's not the same as what this is. This is kind of different. I don't even know what to say.
No, boy, and along with that, opinions can change based on the situation. Like, and for the most part, surprisingly, stuff that has been said in the past has held up. Hey, let's not get into a forever war isn't necessarily saying, oh, let's not do anything. In fact, actually, he like had a cutout towards the beginning of the video. I would go to do it, but I don't want to get lost. 3909. Like at the beginning, it was like, yeah, let's not get into a forever war. And like, just because we're trying to be America first doesn't mean to be isolationist. Just, you know, don't do stupid shit. He's been consistent. Because this is the don't do stupid shit part.
Blackmailing as so too. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a lot of emotional blackmail, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's just appeals.
Real substance. Yeah, I wish we had them.
It is the bombs are falling on a country he most likely couldn't even find on a fucking map. Now, let's try.
I don't know where Iran is on the map. Okay.
So, oh boy, I have squirrels in my walls. I don't know where their nest is, but I know I have squirrels in my walls. But I guess the squirrels in my walls are important because I don't know where they're nesting exactly. That's a stupid fucking argument. Oh boy, these people are coming over, and because they were radicalized by this country and they are funded by this country, they are able to commit terror in my country. I don't know exactly where they got. I don't know where they got radicalized. I know of where. I don't know exactly where. Does that mean I can't care when my neighbor gets shot? When my mother, my father, potentially my wife, potentially my daughter, potentially my son, potentially my cousin, my aunt, my uncle, anyone that I might know, anyone that I might not know, any of my fellow countrymen, my friends, people I work with, people I don't work with. I'm just, oh, I can't care about that because I can't point to Iran on a map. Fun fact, I can. I can get pretty damn close. Sometimes I bump into Saudi Arabia and Iraq, but that's besides the point. Just because he can't necessarily say where it is doesn't mean that he can't have an opinion. It's a fucking stupid argument. It is. I bet you this guy couldn't even figure out where Rhode Island is on a map. Does that mean that he can't care about anything that happens in Rhode Island? Oh wait, maybe, just maybe, he can't care about what happened with Renee Good. Maybe he can't care about what happened in... Oh wait, he wouldn't care about what happened in Virginia. He wouldn't care about what happened at the Jewish Sunday school thing, like the half synagogue, half like K through 12, not 12, like K through 6. He wouldn't care. I mean, by his own logic, he probably wouldn't be able to because he can't point to him on a map. It's a fucking stupid argument.
Remember what Trump campaigned on. First, no new wars.
I haven't even had a single... This is the problem that I have with a lot of these videos, is that they have really no substance to them at all. All it is emotional and moral grandstanding, the optics of a conversation, and the way that things are said, and then bad faith hypocrisy attempts. This is in no way... It's not talking about how to move forward and how to make things better. It has nothing like that at all. All it is just, this is what you said, and that's not the same as what this is. This is kind of different.
Yep. All balls, no shaft.
I don't even know what to say. Blackmailing as so. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a lot of emotional blackmail.
Right.
Obviously. Watch videos with real substance. Yeah.
Yes. He most likely... Remember what Trump campaigned on. First, no new wars.
They said... Second, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Actually, first, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. He said it all the way back in the 80s, which is well before he ran for president the first or second time. Or technically the third time he ran, second time he won. Song and dance, I shit my pants. Kind of doesn't matter.
And if they were going to attack us, I'd bomb the shit out of them.
Bingo.
We're going to look at the one quote that Trump said about not having any wars, and we're not going to look at the 10 other things that he said about preventing Iran from having a nuclear weapon.
It's the Charlottesville shit. It's the exact same thing. And for those who don't know, Trump had kind of a goofy, not exactly a flub, but how he like phrased the sentence and how his usual cadence goes, where he will like add on further things after he says like the main point. People took out of context what he said like in the beginning part and completely ignored the second half. Specifically, there are good people on both sides, and everyone knows that part of the quote. But if you actually watch the full clip of what he says there are good people on both sides, aside from the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists, who should be condemned totally. People often don't see that part. So that kind of is what Asmon's saying here. You take one quote, not necessarily even in context, and you just ignore everything else.
This is, again, you're selectively showing this. You're right that
quotation out of context.
He said no new wars. In my opinion, I don't think that he should have said that. Because how can you say no new wars? You're writing a blank check for the future, and you don't know what's going to happen in the future. How can you say that there's no reason to ever have a new war if you don't know what the different things are going to happen in 3 years or even going to be? It's a mistake for him to have even said that.
He will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars.
The idea of spending so much money...
Okay, yeah. That... how he said it. Technically, he hasn't started a war, but he is close.
On Middle Eastern wars seemed ridiculous to him just recently.
Yes. We've spent $8 trillion in the Middle East.
Yes.
How old is this clip?
And we're not fixing our roads in this country? How stupid is it?
And then he launched...
once again, quotation out of context.
Well, his own...
What did he mean when he said, oh, we just spend $8 trillion in the Middle East and we're not fixing our roads? Well, why are we spending $8 trillion? I mean, let me rephrase this. Why spend $8 trillion when you can just fix the problem lickety-splickety? You know, just do a thing when the time is right, and then you don't have to waste all that money. And I'm pretty sure, like, if this is as old as I kind of think it might be, I assume this is like 2016. Wait, no, coronavirus response. Oh, geez, this would be like 2020. Okay, so it's older, well before the war started. You know, well before they really started ramping up the production of nuclear weapons. Well, back when, you know, context wasn't the same. I'm going to work myself into a tizzy. It is like, okay, yeah, it's 12:43. I have to keep myself quiet as to not be too loud.
Our roads in this country, how stupid is it?
And then he launched.
And still, quotation out of context, I agree with what he said back then. We really should fix our roads. I like my suspension in my car. Suspension. You know, suspending my car. But if we have bigger fish to fry, I understand, you know, just saying, oh yeah. Just obliterating them. I don't, yeah, the noise I made didn't get picked up. So the usage of this clip is completely disingenuous, as with basically everything else he's said so far. The only thing so far that he said that is remotely within context to what was said was when Trump said, and there will be no new wars. I will give him that. I mean, granted, once again, Trump said since the 80s that if Iran can't have a nuclear bomb, they just can't. But I don't know. I guess the new supersedes the old in this context.
What his own administration called Operation Epstein Fury. Yes, that's what it's called now. And the absurdity.
No, it's Epic Fury. How adult.
This little clever play on words of, oh, it's Epstein's Fury. I just feel like it's so, isn't it weird that they're using this term against a country that allows child marriage? Like, I think it's so weird. Why?
I don't think he's using it against the country that it allows child marriage. Iran. He's trying to use it against Trump because, oh, Trump flubbed the Epstein files, which he did. He did. There's no two ways around it.
Why would you do that?
But he's not doing it against Iran. He's doing it against Trump. Because this whole video, despite being related to Asmongold, he can't help but go to Trump because he's deranged.
Like, Iran has child marriage. Like, you can get married to a 9-year-old in Iran. There wouldn't be any reason for Epstein to have fury in Iran because that's the law. They live in a fake reality? I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Did he mention any wars Trump has stopped? Of course not. No.
Why would he? What is it? Like 8? 9? I don't remember. Trump's brokered a lot. Holy shit.
Wars was not what he was running on. It was what he accomplished from his first admin. I don't remember what he said about that. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember exactly what the context of the no new wars thing was.
He doesn't stop there. The defense secretary declared this.
Turns out the regime...
Oh, wait, hang on a minute. Okay, so this is the... Okay, no, it's not the 2020. I'm having a stroke.
Iran, because that's the law. They wars Trump has stopped? Of course not. No. No new wars was not what he was running on. It was what he accomplished from his first admin. I don't remember what he said about that.
Considering the clip, I'll give that like a 50-50. He did still say that there will be no new wars. So, yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember exactly what the context of the no new wars thing was.
He doesn't stop there. The defense secretary declared this.
Turns out the regime...
Oh, there's more hypocrisy. This is another Reddit argument.
Of course.
Who chanted death to America and death to Israel was gifted death from America and death from Israel.
They're treating hundreds and potentially tens of thousands, if this war continues, off deaths like it's an epic military action movie.
That's a little bit of a passing from the acceptable to the dubious. Hundreds? Yeah. Thousands? One could argue, potentially. I would have to look into the numbers. Tens of thousands? It'll take a little while to get there. But, of course, if you want to talk about tens of thousands, we could talk about the tens of thousands of Iranian protesters killed over like 2 weeks, but you're not going to because you don't actually care.
And
yeah, exactly, because he's representing the troops. Like, I hate to tell you this, but
oh yeah, that too.
But the guys that are probably enlisted, that are the chuds that are sitting there wanting to go to war or, you know, signing up to the military in record numbers, they hear that and they're like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's because what do you think the military is? Do you think it's a bunch of fucking Karens sitting around an HR board deciding, like, which pronouns you can use? No, of course not. It's a bunch of guys that are abrasive, aggressive, and they love shit like that. Does every single one? No. But I don't think it's a coincidence whenever Trump and Pete Hegseth take over the military, recruitment skyrockets. Jesus. That's the British military? Yeah.
Asmongold heard this and matched the energy because that's all he does.
I do. I completely support it. I think
that's all he does. He matches the energy. Yeah, no shit, that's kind of his job. He's like the second in command when it comes to the executive branch's military actions. That's kind of his job. A little bit of yes man, a little bit of, oh yeah, this is what the boss says. I like it. Wow. Like, that'd be like the vice president of a company saying, oh yeah, the boss is doing something stupid, don't listen to the boss. Is that what you want to fucking hear from military? I mean, he doesn't care because it's not his military. He can criticize it all he wants because not his backyard, not his problem.
It's a great thing that we make fun of our enemies, then we kill them, then we make fun of them being killed, then we make memes about killing them, and then we laugh at those.
We also call them lame and gay.
That's the way that a military should be. Absolutely psychotic, terrifying, dangerous, with no sense or regard to the well-being of its enemies whatsoever, and that is exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Because that's what scares people. And I'd rather scare people than have them think that they can invade and attack our country. Absolutely. I want more COD kill cams. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want.
Little Ray-Bans for every soldier. Each one of them. There was a company that made like gun cams, like really good ones. And I think they initially marketed it to police. Hold on, let me see. Side tangent. There's a shotgun camera. Yeah, just you put a camera on each gun. Watch the fun happen, I guess. And hey, if you want to say, oh, there are these war crimes, the American soldiers are doing these horrible things with their guns, well, just strap a camera on it. There. I mean, hey. It'd prevent any, that's kind of a straw man, but it'd prevent any claims of bad acts by the troops. Of course, it would never happen because everyone would then say it's racist or something. You know, like police body cams. But I'm getting off topic.
We should have been getting this the whole time.
Is the energy. Whatever Trump says, yeah. Asmongold says, oh, bro, that's based. The man.
No. Asmongold literally said, yeah, I don't like this. Like, he literally did just a moment ago. He did.
And has told you to your face that
of course the guy doesn't, this Woodford guy doesn't actually care. He'll just make a claim, run with it. And then if you say, no, actually, he'll just say,
He has no principles and no morality.
Yes.
And millions of people watch him anyway, because in this media ecosystem, having no principles is the brand. Not knowing...
What is the principle that allows you to obfuscate the bad actions of the Iranian government and then justify basically not attacking them and not stopping them from developing a weapon that will destabilize an entire region, funding terrorism that kills and maims, and also we were talking about Palestinians earlier in this video. The biggest victims of Iran in some cases are Palestinians. They are the Gazans, because not only are they getting bombed by Israel, but they're also being oppressed by Hamas. Do you think Hamas is like these are these great guys that are in Palestine that are helping them out and trying to make sure that they're able to survive? No.
What moral argument, like what system of morals do you have that enables you to make fallacious arguments and then try to back them up with quotes that are taken out of context in order to just make someone look bad? I would pose that personally, but that's just me.
Of course not. If you protest against Hamas over there, they kill you. So this entire idea that, like, you know, I have no principles. Well, let's actually look at where the principles have led this guy. They have led this guy to, you hate Donald Trump so much that you're running defense and you're repeating Iranian state media propaganda as an attack on Donald Trump. So if your principles have led you for creating a smokescreen about the obvious ideological and complete moral evil that the Iranian government is, why do you have those principles? Those don't seem like good principles at all to me. Those seem like terrible principles.
Seem real shitty.
Anything is the credential. And saying...
Because the truth is that, like, I do have a moral compass. It just doesn't necessarily point north. But I think my north is the true north. And I think what they think is north is bullshit.
Well, they don't have a compass. And I said it earlier. It doesn't matter what you say, so long as the grass can be purple, so long as you are wrong. It doesn't matter what direction your moral compass goes, necessarily. So long as they can be right, they will be right.
I think they are allowing so much evil, so much bad behavior, so many people to get hurt, so many deaths and everything, and they don't realize it because they think that by not taking action, somehow they don't take ownership.
It's also a little bit of the doorstop bias. Like, oh, you're trying to make me do this. Oh, I'm gonna be against you and I'm gonna dig my heels in.
I don't agree with that. I think that by refusing to take...
Yeah, and they're also trying to obfuscate, like, any sort of position. You can kind of chalk this up to, well, no. They aren't being academically detached because they are taking the position of, I'm just not with you. It's more so like drawing a line, but a little bit more nuance than what usually would be common with that. So I'll let Asmon speak. Hold on.
Somehow they don't take ownership. I don't agree with that. I think that by refusing to take action, that is an action. And I think that abstaining from taking action against evil like this,
And what Asmon is saying, yes, is in fact like a form of drawing the line still. It is the do or do not. He's basically saying the do not is in fact a choice. Like, that's what he's saying. And he's drawing a line between doing something and doing nothing.
You are allowing it to proliferate and you're letting it get worse.
This is just amazing. While a 20-year-old dies in a drone strike in Kuwait, is called content. So
he didn't say that the 20-year-old dying in Kuwait was amazing. You disingenuous fuck.
Believe him. When a man tells you that he has no principles, believe him. He's not lying.
Yes.
This is the only honest thing that he said. Nicole...
If I were to speak my mind, I wouldn't be allowed on YouTube. If I were to speak my mind, it wouldn't be allowed on YouTube. If I were to speak my mind.
The worst part about me is that I'm honest.
Terribly so.
That's the thing. I actually tell people what I think. For better or for worse.
Also, his statement of the only true thing he said was that he has no morals. But if he has no morals, then why would he tell the truth about having no morals? Because it wouldn't be against his morals to lie about that. It's a stupid jab. It is a stupid attempt at ridiculing Asmon. And disappointment. My disappointment in humanity is immeasurable.
And also, so keep in mind, this video is almost over. Not a single point has been made that is an argument.
Oh, yeah. I haven't even noticed that. Yeah. I forgot.
Is finishing his senior.
Yeah, so far he hasn't really made like an actual argument. It's just been Asmongold bad, Trump and Asmon bad. Like, it's not. He's tried to provide like flimsy pseudo evidence and like stuff to kind of back up what he says, but everything he's brought up has basically just been like a quotation out of context. So yeah, he really hasn't made an actual argument. It's just Asmon bad, Trump and Asmon bad.
A year in high school without his mother.
Point.
Declan Cody's sister is
another. This is more emotional soapboxing, right? I mean, like, why aren't you eulogizing about the people that were killed on October 7th? Because that was by one of Iran's proxies. Oh, that's right. Because that's not convenient for your narrative. This is all it's about. It's about a narrative.
Bingo.
It's about an agenda. It's not about a principle. It's not about morality. It's about creating a narrative.
To accept that her brother isn't coming home.
Yeah.
And 165 families in Minab are burying their...
165 families? Now. That's a little bit presumptuous. That's assuming each schoolgirl had their own individual family, when if it is supposed to be a multi-grade school, I shouldn't say when it's supposed to be. From what I understand, it was a multi-grade school. So, I don't think it's 165, but that's just proving a minor point.
Daughters. And in a cluttered room in Austin, Texas, the most watched political voice of his generation thinks that this is just amazing.
It is amazing.
Cope and seethe.
Because it's the beginning of the end. And thank God that somebody had the ability and the willingness and the resolve to finally confront this evil directly. And the truth is that this evil has been manifesting, growing, and becoming more pernicious, dangerous, and lethal every single year. And
each percentage of enrichment at a time.
And for 47 years, the entire Middle East has been terrorized by an Iranian government that keeps not only the region hostage, but also its own people as well. And so, yes, obviously it's horrible whenever people get killed, and nobody agrees with that. But I don't want to hear any fucking moralizing from a person who wouldn't even make a single video about the 40 or 30,000 people that were body bagged on the side of the street.
Potentially 100,000.
While Iran turned off the internet to mass murder its own civilians, and then to hear about how terrible it is that 6 people that were Americans were killed, or 160 that were Iranians that were killed. This is the same Iranian government who this week have said they will kill your children if your children are saying things that are against the regime. This isn't something that they said 3 years ago.
The Iranian regime are made up of a bunch of figs and a bunch of cigarettes.
This is something they said this week. It was like 3 days ago. So this is the problem, is that when your partisan politics leads you to a place that you defend genuine true evil, and you...
But Asmon, You don't have morals. How can you define true evil?
Think that you're the one that's principled.
I'm saying that sarcastically.
Say, to what purpose are those principles for? It's such a horrible thing to see. And I see a lot of people that make these arguments. And the reason why people watch me is because I don't make these arguments. That's the reason why nobody watches your videos. That's the reason why I think that you're very, very one-dimensional. You're only making videos about how bad Trump is. You're not even in America. What is that?
Yowzas.
You need to have a jacket to have an opinion on this? Yes, exactly. Not even innocent Americans. They were in reserves. Yeah, I mean, these are people that signed up for the military as well.
Actually, Asmon needs a jacket and a tie. The tie gives bonus points.
Let me listen to the rest of this.
Voice of his generation thinks that this is just amazing.
I was a big supporter of us bombing them before, and now we're bombing them again, and this is just amazing. It is amazing. And do you remember how we said this is amazing content? So he added that word in to make it seem like I was trying to play down the fact of the war. So he added that in, and you can see how people like this are they're very manipulative. But the one thing that we didn't have in this video that I find to be very disappointing, I see this in a lot of anti-Asmongold videos.
The scorpion will say whatever it takes. Its nature is to sting. It doesn't matter if it says it won't. It still will. I will... Yeah, the video's effectively done. As kind of an outro, making this short and sweet because it is 1 a.m. now. People like Woodford right here, they don't actually care. They will say whatever it takes to make you care, but they do not. As much as he criticizes Asmon for not having a moral compass, he is equally guilty. In fact, I would say he's more guilty because he's hypocritical in the positions he is taking when it comes to, I don't want to say mourning, but when it comes to criticizing, when it comes to bringing up certain events, certain problems. And I understand, you can't know everything. But when you are trying to make the argument of, oh, he's saying this about this event, clearly you know of events in the region. I think it is fair to say that if you don't know about one of the largest events in the region, then if you don't know about it, genuinely, you don't know about it, it means that you clearly, well, I shouldn't say clearly, but it implies heavily that you didn't look hard enough into the region. And if you didn't look hard enough into the region to see that, how can I trust anything you say? Because you very well might be misinformed. Like, anytime I make a statement, I try to, unless I know for sure, and I can show you, I say with a grain of salt. Or at least I try to remember to every time I do it. This person doesn't care. He will say whatever he has to. He will weave whatever magic circle he has to, because he will make gold into lead. Because he isn't here to actually have morals. He will do whatever it takes. He will sacrifice whatever he has to get the Philosopher's Stone. And he will sacrifice whatever he has to make gold. He does not care how many corpses he has to ignore. He can point out one of the thousands to morally grandstand with. And he will do that. In fact, throughout this video, he did that. He did not talk a single bit about the tens of thousands that were killed by the regime. The regime that was taken out. Partially, yes, due to them, in the wise words of Trump, don't touch the protesters. Well, they touch the protesters. They can't have a nuclear weapon, in the wise words of Trump, back in the 80s. Well, they try to get a nuclear weapon. And lo and behold, they magically disappear off the face of the earth. To kind of wrap this up, because it is now almost 1:10. You can't trust snakes like this. And I'm not saying that you can't at least try to listen to them first, but you have to be able to see them. You have to be able to denote who is being disingenuous and those who maybe just don't know completely. And I'm not saying that it's some great crime not to know everything. Once again, you can't. But when you have someone being so disingenuous, when you have someone taking someone so out of context, when you have someone that isn't even making a genuine argument, and when I say genuine argument, I mean an actual line of argumentation, not just, hey, look at this. This looks bad for this guy. Like, all of this video was just whataboutism. The only thing that even relatively comes close to an argument would be, well, what about this? You said this previously. Do you not believe that now? Unfortunately, he didn't do that. If he did, this would have been a very different video. But he didn't. And I repeat myself. Can't trust the scorpion, as it will sting no matter what it says. And people like this will utilize any sort of deception, any sort of trick, maneuver, manipulation, because that's what he did. He used emotional manipulation throughout this entire video. He morally grandstanded by saying, well, Asmongold doesn't have morals. Okay, do you? I don't think he does. I don't think he actually cares. I use the analogy of the alchemist for a reason, because he does not care how important, what it takes, what it costs. You will get his gold. You will turn that lead into gold. Whether he has to make a philosopher's stone or not, he will use those corpses and he will get his gold. But that is enough of my ramblings. I'm sorry it took me 200. Fuck. I'm misreading that. I'm that tired. 2 hours, 22 minutes, and going on 10 seconds. With all that being said, my name is Hastur. I'm sorry to drag this out so long. But with all that being said, later.